Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's the Michael Myers.
More time? You don't have more time.
Back again with a brand new live stream, man.
Yourself.
Happy Michael Myers Monday.
Okay. Make sure the kids at school don't tease her. You have to take care of yourself sometime.
Happy Michael Myers Monday to all of you guys. Where did I leave the... Happy Michael Myers Monday, man. As you guys know, this is our first Monday coming off of the Halloween weekend. So, I mean, hope you guys had a good Halloween weekend, man. Decided today I'm gonna be re-ranking the Halloween franchise. I've ranked them in the past before. It's been some years now. But, yeah, I mean, I decided to re-rank the whole franchise from worst to best on, you know, today's Michael Myers Monday. It might be, I'm going to try to make it a routine, you know. This is like my fourth Michael Myers Monday kind of video. So I might kind of continue it, you know, because usually Monday is kind of a day off for me. So, yeah, I'm going to be re-ranking them from worst to best. I might go back and re-rank a lot of these franchises because my list, my ranking always changes, you know, with every viewing. Every viewing, you know, once the years go on. So this is my latest update of my Halloween ranking. It's definitely changed. It's definitely changed a lot, you know, ever since I did the last one, whenever I did it. So we're gonna get straight into it. So hope you guys are happy, cool ass Monday, Michael Myers Monday. You guys can leave your ranking in the comments or in the chat. You know, it's always great to see other people's ranking and stuff like that. So we're gonna get started here, dude. As you guys know, there are 13 movies in the whole Halloween series. And I think when I did my last ranking, I don't think Kills and Ends were out. I think the only one that was out was 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So let's get straight into it. So number 13, the worst Halloween movie in the whole franchise, in my opinion. Halloween Resurrection. I really can't stand this movie. It's just really hard for me to sit there and actually go through it, you know. I mean, you could say the whole, you know, vlogging aspect to this movie, you know, the whole camera aspect, you know what I mean, was kind of ahead of its time, for sure. You know, this was only like 2001, right? 2002, early 2000s, man. So it was ahead of its time in that aspect, but I thought it was just, it was kind of dumb, you know, the whole storyline. You got Busta Rhymes in here. I mean, I could only watch like the first 10 minutes, man, with Jamie Lee Curtis, but they kill her off. And so yeah, I could never go through this one, man. Like I said, only parts I could actually sit there and watch is like the first 10 minutes. But other than that, dude, this thing goes downhill. You know, I just think it's not as watchable for me, to keep it real with you guys. But yeah, yo, what's up, Johnny? Yeah, I agree, man. Halloween Resurrection is the worst one. Extremely dated as well. Outdated as well. Yeah, man, for sure. Like I said, it's just a lot of... I will say this. I think Michael was better in Resurrection than in H2O. At least the mask. You know, I do like... you know, that's the only credit it gets, to be honest. The mask is kind of like... It's pretty cool, you know, and you know, I kind of, if I were to purchase another Michael Myers mask for the collection, I'll probably like get one that I don't own yet. I'll probably go get the Resurrection, probably before the H2O, to be honest with you guys. But the movie itself, yeah, it's terrible, you know. All right, so next on the list, number 12, which really isn't no surprise. Halloween Ends, man. The latest Halloween Ends. Now I know it's been, when did this come out? Like 3 years ago, 2022, right? Uh, once time went on, I feel like people are kind of, especially, only time will tell with this one. I feel people are, feel this is going to be considered down the line kind of like a cult classic. And what I mean by that is, movies that really weren't shit at the time they came out, but once the years go on, people, gravitate more towards it. There's a lot of those kind of movies. People say this Halloween Ends will end up being that case, sort of. But Halloween Ends, dude, I can't. At least this one's at least a little bit more watchable than Resurrection, because you have the whole Corey storyline, the whole, possession, whatever you want to call it. Corey takes on, the Myers, his shadow, his character, right? But it's just, I think it was just a terrible way to end the series, man. Especially ending to a, a trilogy or a series, whatever you want to call it. This is just a better way to go out. It's a better way to go out. If there was a sequel, okay, yeah, maybe. It might be accepted a little bit more, but yeah, this was just. By the time Kills Man and Ends came out, I feel the filmmakers really just didn't give a shit, man. Really didn't care at this point. Like I said, some people still enjoy it for what it is. There's a lot of dumb aspects to this, unrealistic aspects. We've talked about them on the channel, and yeah, till this day, I only seen it a nice handful of times. I really haven't seen it like rewatch it and revisit it and give like a deep look. But based on my first viewing, man, at the theaters when it came out, it was just a major disappointment. Like I said, a lot of unrealistic, stupid stuff throughout this movie, man. But hey, at least let's hope this is the end to all this crap right here. All the going back to the original stuff. I hope this is really the end. Even though Blumhouse, I think, still has the licensing, they still have the rights, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong though. You guys could correct me if I'm wrong. But even though they still have the rights, especially coming after this, I don't really see them doing another movie, especially continuing after this. At least this storyline. But yeah, I mean, I hope it's the end. Of the Laurie Strode storyline. I know she's the queen of this. Not just the Halloween series, but you could say she's like the scream queen of the horror genre, right? But and as much as she's the shit, I hope they really end. This is the end to her story, man. So yeah, I like to look at it that way. Halloween Ends is the ending to the Laurie and Michael storyline. But other than that, dude, yeah, I really bad movie. I really was expecting more, and I really, it's just not the greatest way to go out, like I said. All right, next on the list, Halloween Kills, dude. At least this, when it comes to Kills, man, I feel, which we'll get into once we get into the 2018 movie, but once Kills and Ends came about, right? Because you guys remember, it was like they were announced back to back at the same time, literally like a year after 2018 came out. But once it got to Kills, dude, like I remember being, hyped for it. But since we already had a first look, a first taste of this Blumhouse Halloween world, the excitement wasn't as big as, for example, when 2018 came out. But at least with this one, man, we were still kind of expecting a little something, at least I was. Of course, man, this is for sure. I mean, the title speaks for itself. Halloween Kills. You guys know, man, when it comes to a sequel, a continuation, a follow-up, they gotta raise up the stakes. They gotta step it up. So for sure, man, and this is what that does. It does the job, right? It does the trick. And I will say this, of course, on top of everything, the best thing about these Blumhouse movies, James Jude Courtney is the best thing. from these Halloween movies. I think he played a pretty good Myers. I think, and him, from what it seems like, him and Nick Castle actually are pretty close. At least now, you see them still hanging out. And stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure James Jude Courtney really, you know, peeped a lot of game from Nick Castle, man. Really studied the guy, and you could definitely tell, especially more in the 2018 movie. But we'll get to that. But like I said, man, this one has some okay stuff. Like I said, and when I say that, I mean when it comes to Michael. Like I said, he's definitely more. There's more action in here. There's more brutal stuff going on, right? The kills, the main standout from this movie. When I talk to a lot of people, and I will say, yeah, probably the most standout, the best scene in this movie is when, Michael, comes out of the fireman and kills the shit out of the firefighters, right? And yeah, and it was pretty cool, that they continue right off the moment 2018 ended. That was pretty cool. The flashback scene, of course, was one thing. Another standout, the flashback scene, like, it was cool to go back to the 78, right? But after that, dude, it still contains its Blumhouse, elements, stupid moments, it's poorly written, a lot. It just has that, a lot of stupid moments. Like I said, at this point, it still had that whole action going on. So you could say that kind of made up for it. You could say, people like this because it does, like I said, the title speaks for itself, and you also have some returning characters in this, like Tommy, Lindsay. But yeah, there's a lot of dumb stuff about this movie. For example, and some of the side characters too, man. They're just bad. Some of the kills, even like I said, the kills are cool, but some of them are just, I feel, a little bit too cliche, and of course we all know it literally took like 30 minutes for you could say towards like the third half of the movie, second half of the movie, with the mental patient, right? It's just a poorly written movie, man. So this one, I feel like the more I watch it, the more I dislike it, But yeah, Halloween Kills, I can't watch it, But all right, next on the list, man, we're at like number 10, right? Number 10 on the list. The 2007 remake, Rob Zombie's remake. At least these are more watchable than the Blumhouse ones, right? But I'm still not the biggest fan of the whole backstory. We've talked about it, giving Myers the reason why, he is what he is, right? And these movies are Rob Zombied out for sure. If you're a Rob Zombie fan, people really adore these movies, really do like these movies. Like I said, I even Scout Taylor Compton, you got Malcolm McDowell in here, legendary, right? I really don't mind them, of course, Daniel Harris, Tyler Mane, another great point from these Rob Zombie movies. Pretty good Myers, even though he was huge, but definitely, he was more brutal in this one, which is cool. Like I said, it definitely raised up the stakes, and they try to kind of ground it, with reality, kind of, make it seem more in real life, according to like Rob Zombie. But like I said, dude, I don't know if it's because I've seen it a nice handful of times. I really, don't watch it as much. But like I said, if I do, man, it's probably just to the spare of the moment kind of thing. Like I said, I still don't really care for the whole beginning 30 minutes, the backstory, dude, because yeah, it just really doesn't feel like Halloween, if you ask me. But I mean, once the years go on, yeah, especially one comparing to the last two we looked at least this one's a little bit more watchable, you know. And like I said, it could just be me, but this one, it's just okay, you know. But it's definitely not the greatest. It's a flawed movie for sure. All right, next on the list, you guys will probably think I'm crazy for this, but I actually do prefer this one over this last one, and that is the Halloween 2 remake. I do remember as a kid watching this one first before I ever saw the 2007 one. Uh, and I know this one feels nothing like Halloween. And that's one thing too, man. I kind of, you know, give credit to this movie is Rob Zombie did his own thing. Like with this one, it's a reimagining of the original 78. Of course, with, you know, Rob Zombie's whole backstory, right? Where did I leave? Where did it fall? Sorry, guys, I dropped the control.
That's Lisa.
But the Halloween 2, man, at least it wasn't a remake, a whole entire remake to, you know, of the original Halloween 2 from 81. At least this one didn't take the whole movie take place in the hospital. The dream sequence, man, one of the best sequences in this movie. Of course, man, that's the main standout. After that, it does go downhill. I mean, you got white horses in this crap. You got a Hobo Myers who speaks at the end. Terrible stuff, man. Terrible decisions, man. But like I said, I kind of, for me, it's more watchable than this one. You know, like I said, probably because I was introduced to this movie as a kid before this one. This one still, at least, like I watched this one this Halloween season, this October. It was like early in the month. For some reason, man, I decided to watch this. You know, and it's funny. You know, Scout Taylor Compton, you could say she's more, you know, annoying in this one. All she does is scream in this one. You know, in the first one, she was more, you know, she had a little bit more composure, right? But I mean, coming off the events, man, of 2007, like I guess that's how you assume, you know, how someone would act in real life if someone were to come from the events, right? They'll be going crazy, right? But you know, other than that, dude, it has a lot of issues. But I'm always rewatching this one every once in a while. If I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I really am. And you know, it's just one of those movies that it's so bad it's good, you know. Yeah, and you know, Michael McDowell's character, right, Dr. Loomis, he becomes this like greedy bastard, wants to make a profit off the whole thing. It's fun. Like there's some good stuff and some shitty stuff in here. So, you know, once the years go on, it's not too bad. But that's Halloween 2, the remake. I know a lot of people, that's like the worst one for a lot of people. Smith, what's up, man?
Lisa.
L-
Lisa.
Lemai Howard, what's up? What's up, man? Hope you guys are having a good Michael Myers Monday. Like I said, man, coming off the Halloween weekend, I was gonna go live actually, but I ended up getting a little bit busy, man. But it was a good October month for sure. All right, next on the list, man. I'm gonna give it up to Halloween H2O. Halloween, you know, 20 years later. This one is another one. The more I watch, the more I kind of dislike. You know, it's just, you know, and it's great to see. You know, this was the first time This was Jamie Lee Curtis' first return to the franchise. You know, it's just, it's a fun movie for sure. I'll give it that. You know, it's definitely a fun movie because this was at a time when the genre, the slasher genre, kind of reinvented itself. You know, this was 97, right? 98. 98, yeah. And you know, coming off of like Halloween 6, Halloween 5, which weren't that great, it was kind of like a good bounce back to the franchise. Like I said, at this point, late 90s, the slasher genre kind of reinvented itself. And of course, that's all due to Scream from 96, right? Which definitely, this movie is a really, you know, a Scream influenced movie for sure. But So it has that. It has its gimmicky stuff. It's meant to be a fun movie like Scream. You could even tell like the score throughout the movie. Quite a score, influenced by by Scream. If you ask me, like I said, it has that Scream style, and like I said, I think it did its job at the time. I think a lot of people, even till this day, I think they're still pleased with this movie. Uh, but I feel like I said the weakest parts to this movie is for sure, the gimmicky aspect it has. I think Myers also the whole mask transition. They couldn't keep one mask settled for this movie. They went through like originally I think because I saw like a little documentary. They originally intended to have the Halloween 6 mask back in here, which was a bad idea if you ask me to forget about that because the Halloween 6 mask was pretty good, so I think they originally wanted that, but they then wanted to switch it up. You guys know, man, producers, studio interferences, all that crap, man. And so they went through a transition of masks, and you have the CGI mask, the alien mask, which could be the worst one from I think there was like three, right, in the movie, but I think the three of them they used, they really weren't that great. They weren't a standout. But the main mask they used, the main mask that is known uh, for the end product, was okay. Like I said, I didn't really like the eye holes were too big. You could see his eyes, like you know, see right through his eyes, which was kind of you could say little distraction. Not a distraction, but you've never really seen that in the previous Halloween, so it was kind of kind of off. But like I said, dude, little moments like that really, like I said, capture that Scream influence. And not just H2O. You got a lot of movies around this time that kind of ran with that formula. Urban Legend, another one that comes to mind, which is they're good. It's a good movie, but like I said, a lot of these films were really Scream influenced because that was the formula, at least at the late '90s. Which was a whole nother time for when it came to the genre, right? But like I said, at its time, I think it did its trick. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this was a positive reaction at the time, and like I said, till this day, still a lot of people do like this, but I really don't rewatch it as much, man, because like I said, the more I watch it, the more I kind of get turned off by it. But that's just me. Yo, what Machete Slasher? What's up, man? Yo, what's up, man? Hope you had a good Halloween, man. It's definitely it definitely was a good month, at least for me. Just been trying to do some more content, man. And like I said, I had a lot more plans for October, but I'm definitely gonna still drop a lot of stuff that I intended for the month, man. But hope you're doing good, Machete Slasher. Hope you're having a chill Monday, man. Like I said, you guys can leave down your ranking uh, of the series, so yeah. All right. So next on the list, which was kind of challenging, to choose between this one and H2O, but I think I might like this one a little bit more, man. And that's the 2018 Blumhouse Halloween. Like I said, man, when this one was coming out, I think the hype was real, the excitement was real because coming off of the Rob Zombie movies like 9 years prior, there was something to look forward to, man. Like I remember keeping up with all the updates we could have, kind of what people do now with with the Scream series, like with Scream 7. They try to catch up with every behind the scene photo, every little update, even speculation, and theories. That was me back in 2018, man, because yeah, even like I remember being hyped up and excited for a simple, behind the scene photo, man. And because like I said, this was our return to the Halloween franchise after after the remakes. And since the jump, this one has always been rooted with the original John Carpenter movie. Since the beginning, yeah, it was always it was always clarified this was gonna be a direct sequel, which kind of gave, like I said, gave it some potential, because it was going back to the original world, the original the basics of this, right? So there was some hope there, even though, like I said, the whole, because Halloween 2 is, you know, the best sequel of all time, one of the best sequels of all time. So I was kind of like, at the same time, it was exciting to go back to John Carpenter's world, but it was still hesitant to why try to, ruin a perfect sequel like Halloween 2. So, of course, man, 2018 wiped out all the movies, They continued right after the first one. The rest of the movies don't count in this one. It's like they never happened, which was, they've done it before, with some horror films, Texas Chainsaw 3D, which was terrible. But they managed to work it off, to make it work, right. But it still has a lot of flaws, in my opinion, But there's a lot of good stuff in here as well. Like I said, Jamie Lee Curtis, she was the best in. From the whole three movies, she was the best in this one. Even though, she was like this paranoid, grandma, right? With, she had, I guess, like a gun range at her house. She was all these years, 40 years, she was prepared for Michael to come back. I was expecting her to be a little bit more of like a stronger kind of, like a badass grandma who take no shit. But I mean, it's understandable. Like, after all this shit, who wouldn't be paranoid, right? And also another big major clue to this, they're no longer siblings in this one. They're no longer siblings, which a lot of people were, disappointed with. But some people also don't mind it because, I know the whole sibling thing was revealed in Halloween 2, and people feel, which there is some truth to this, if you really think about it. The whole sibling thing kind of, made it less scary, you could say, because they made that connection, and that's what kind of, reveals the, it's not as mysterious how it was in the original. Like, you did not know nothing. Halloween 2, the whole sibling connection. So it kind of, watered it down a bit, and so a lot of people didn't really mind that they removed that connection. They're no longer siblings in this, and like I said, it managed to work. There's a lot of cool moments in here. The kills were pretty cool, but like I always said, man, James Jude Corney is the best thing about these movies, and I think he was the best in this one, because you could really tell he like, there's a lot of moments that really reminded me, of Nick Castle's Myers. Like, for example, when what part was it, when I guess when he's out in the street and stuff like that, like his posture, his walking, definitely reminded me, man. So I think he was the best in this one, if you ask me. So it's okay, like I said, it has its issues, but it's still, at least I was excited for that, from what I remember, So yeah, yo, what's up, man? Yukism Dome, what's up, man? My bad if I butchered your name, man. But I appreciate you tuning in. Just here re-ranking the franchise, man. Because why not? It's definitely changed, since the last time I did it. Johnny, oh yeah, man, part 6. Yeah, we're about to get to part 6. Oh yeah, for sure. Dome. Yeah, Resurrection is the worst one for me. The only credit it gets is the mask, man. At least the mask was pretty cool. It looks pissed off. It looks more menacing. At least more menacing than, H2O. So that's the only credit it gets, though, for me. All right, next on the list, man. We're already in the original movies. We're already in the earlier films. But next on the list, man, I gotta. It's my number six on the list. The Revenge of Michael Myers, fifth movie. I know this one was the weaker one from the whole, from the early movies. And yeah, this one's not as watchable for me, to be honest. Especially when you compare it with Halloween 4. But this one always gets a pass from me, man, because like I said, it's still part of that original line of movies. And as bad as this movie is poorly written, uh, you really don't get nothing from it. Like, it really doesn't go nowhere, but it still has that essence, that charm from the original movies, and that's what I appreciate it, man. Because this is another one I remember watching as a young kid on TV, man. So, like I said, that charm, that vibe is still in here. Don Shanks, not the best Myers. I think he did pretty cool, but I just think it was just the mask. It was the mask that really was a distraction, man. Dr. Loomis, he's like the worst in this one out of all of them. But I mean, stuff like Donald Pleasance really carried on the movie. And their biggest mistake here is killing off Rachel, because she was a great final girl. I really dig her, man. In Halloween 4, she did really good. Uh, and you could say that connection was there with Daniel Harris's character. Uh, and it was just a bad mistake. I think it was like the first half out, the first 30 minutes they kill her off. Um, yeah, and you guys got to remember too. This came out a year after Halloween 4, so they were desperate. You know, uh, they were on board with this. Especially because I'm pretty sure 4 was successful, so they really didn't want to waste any time. So they jumped into a sequel right away. And sometimes when you do that, the final product is not the same. It's not as great. And I think that's an example of that Halloween 5. Uh, yeah, it's just the vibes are still there. Most definitely. Jamie Lloyd's character also, by trying to make her, mute throughout the movie. She really wasn't speaking. Uh, was dumb too. Like, why? Like, what else could carry on the movie? So there's a lot of mistakes like that in H5. But the ending, they, they lock Myers up. Then you got the man in black. Breaks him out of prison. You know, but it's still a memorable movie to a lot of us. So it does get a pass. Uh, so yeah, all right. So number 5. Yes, I am including this one because it's still part of the Halloween franchise. You know, even if you guys like it or not. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Yeah, man. I know a lot of people really dislike this one. It's just, it as a movie, as a standalone movie, it is pretty good. Uh, you could say it's a bit outdated here and there. The special effects. Uh, the whole concept, dude, I think was cool and was ahead of its time. The whole silver shamrock masks. If this movie was done now, or at least 20 years, you know, after this came out, it definitely would have been more accepted, dude. But since this was 83, right? I don't think it says, but this was right after Halloween 2, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so the hype was there, dude. The slasher genre was born, and it was full throttle at this point. So when this came out, dude, people refused it. They didn't care about it because, hey, nothing to do with Myers. So there was no point in this to a lot of people. Um, but I think throughout the years, people have at least appreciated a little bit more. Like I said, as a Halloween, this is a movie you must watch. e- every Halloween month, every October, because yeah, it's a great Halloween movie. Like I said, the concept I've always dug. I always dug the concept. You got what's his name? I always blank out on this dude's name. Tom Atkins, legendary. He's in Creep Show. A lot of classic films, man. He carries on the movie really good. You know, like I said, there is some off. You know, out. It really hasn't dated as well. You know, but it's a really solid movie. It's a solid movie. I think I watched it like 2 times this October, to keep it real with you guys. But yeah, you know, people still might not be the biggest fan of it, you know, but I've always appreciated, because you really can't, you really can't reject this movie, man, because this is still John Carpenter. You know, this was his original vision for this franchise. But like I said, since the slasher genre was at its peak here, it really wasn't. People just didn't really care for it, you know. And you could Myers was the franchise. He was the franchise, so uh, you know, you really couldn't do it without Michael, man. But you know, John Carpenter, his vision for Halloween, the franchise, different Halloween stories, and this what that was. So this was the original vision, and no, you gotta respect it. Definitely gotta respect it for sure. Uh, all right, number 4, man, and this one was the worst one at one point. Like if you look at my last ranking video, um, this one was the worst one, and that is part 6, The Curse of Myers, man. Yeah, as dumb as the story, I still don't care for the storyline, the whole curse, the thorn aspect. Um, you know, Michael having Jamie's baby. Uh, you know, Michael getting her pregnant. It's just nonsense, dude. It's just wasn't like, this isn't Halloween. Like a lot of stuff like that really you know, removed. It was all that stuff was like stripped off for it to make it feel like a Halloween movie. You know, George P. Wilbur does return as Myers in this, of course, from H4. Um, but you know, the thing about this, it's definitely darker. It's a darker movie than the previous ones. Uh, Michael is just he could be the scariest from the whole franchise in Halloween 6, because the kills they stepped up their game with the kills, the gore, and yeah, he really wasn't taking no shit in this one, and that's what I really dig about this one. You know, the score, Alan Howarth with the iconic score, like always, man, really came through with this one. But like I said, aspects to this movie, the whole thorn thing, you know, the whole tattoo and everything, they try to explain it. They try to, you know, fill in the blanks, because Halloween 5 ended kind of, you know, teased that a little bit, and they kind of had to explain it. And then you also got the producer's cut. I think this is the theatrical cut right here. A lot of people do prefer the producer's cut, but you know, it doesn't really change a thing, to be honest. I think the producer's cut is probably played out a little bit more better, executed a little bit more better, but it still kind of is the same movie, man. But other than that, dude, it's just it's just the dark, you know, cinematography. It has the dark suspense. It kind of carries, man. Before you say it got gimmicky, it's still, you know, you see Michael's in the shadows in the staircase, you know. So that's what I really dig about this one, man. And I'm always, you know, once time went on and I've rewatched this, it's it skyrocketed up to my list. Like I said, this was the worst one at one point, but it definitely skyrocketed, man. You know, like I said, especially when you compare it to the later films, the latest ones, it's definitely it kind of carries on a little better. Like I really would love to see a movie like this, a new Halloween movie like this, you know. And I'm not talking about having Michael be part of this cult. No, I'm just saying like make Michael, you know, scary again. You know, in the shadows, in the dark. You know, but that's just me. All right, number 3 on my list. I'm pretty sure it's no surprise by now, but Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Man, this is one of the early Halloween films I ever saw as a kid. So this is a really memorable one to a lot of us. Halloween 4. It's a great sequel, dude. One of the best sequels. Of course, not as good as Halloween 2, but the fact that, you know, they kind of we introduced to the Jamie Lloyd character. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis was out of the picture here. Rachel, you know, good final girl. George P. Wilbur, pretty good Myers as well, man. And of course, our legendary Donald Pleasance. Uh, so they managed to keep it going. You know, they managed to keep it going, keep the same essence, and they did a really good job with it. They did a really good job with it. I know people don't really dislike the mask. I mean, people dislike the mask, but something about it, dude. I'll always defend the mask in Halloween 4. You know, I'll always I'll always be a fan of it because as crappy as it looks, it's just really, you know, really effective. You know, most definitely, and I get it. They kind of did some false advertisement here. You know, this is the main poster, iconic poster, right? This is like one of the most popular, famous Myers pictures of all time. Uh, and, you know, I get it. If people were, you know, I'm pretty sure this was the promotion for it, the marketing, this cover. So for them to have this and the final product be a whole different mask, where is it? Right here. Um, hey, I'll probably be disappointed as well, you know? So quite a bit some false advertisement here, but what what can you say about Halloween 4, man? It's just one of the best films for sure in the franchise. All right, next on the list, number 2, Halloween 2, 1981, one of the best sequels out there, man. Just capturing that same essence, man, from the 78. Really did his thing. You know, definitely really memorable, man. Just Myers walking through the hospital hallways, man. It doesn't get any better, dude. You know, Dick Warlock, who did play Myers in this one, you know, would have been better if Nick Castle would have returned, man. But Dick Warlock did pretty cool. You know, some people feel he was a little too slow in this one, a little too, you know, his walk was a little bit off in some points. Some people weren't a huge fan of the mask as well, because yeah, it looks quite different. It's gonna look different on a different actor. So, but little stuff like that, man, really doesn't. I don't think it's relevant, you know, because as far as a sequel, this is the one right here. You know, dude, I rewatched this Halloween season, this Halloween month, a nice handful of times, man. It's always playing like on the AMC Fear Fest, on different channels, and I, as much as I watch it, dude, I'm always there watching it. You know, I could always rewatch it without a problem. You know, never get bored of Halloween 2, and the best one in the franchise, 1978, John Carpenter's original Halloween, man. I mean, what can you say about this movie, man? This one was the one that definitely set the blueprint, opened doors, opened the wave for the slasher genre, dude. And I know there was some slasher films before this, Black Christmas, right? Which was, you know, you could say the foundation, right? But this one was a hit. This one was definitely more successful worldwide, And you know, a low budget movie like this really proved that, you know, you can make something out of nothing. You know, Deborah Hill, John Carpenter really had this vision, man, and it really worked. You know, this was when it was still simple but effective. Um, like, yeah, it's just, you know, a regular Halloween night, Lori babysitting, nothing out of the ordinary, and for, you know, the shape to come out of nowhere, like it's like if it were to happen down the street from anyone, you know. So this one's always gonna have that element to it, that realistic element, you know, the more common sense aspect to it, you know. Down the line, they made it more, you know, they made it more like Michael's immortal, you know, and he might have been in this one, but you really didn't know that. Like the mystery was there, you know. We did not know nothing at this point, you know. It's just all we know that it's a Halloween night, and you know, Michael has came home, you know. And like I said, I also really like a lot of the shots in this movie, man. Michael in the shadows, you know, in the dark, roaming the streets. It doesn't get more iconic than this, man. This is still one of my. There's a few movies that I put over this one, you know, like The Exorcist, classic movies like that. But dude, this one's right up there. You know, as much as this franchise means a lot to me, and there's, like I said, there's a few movies that top this one. But this one's always gonna be one of the best, you know, films of all time for me. You know, not just Halloween, but the best movies of all time, because it's really stood the test of time, man. It's definitely it's resonated with a lot of people, man. And like I said, simple but effective, and it really worked. It really worked. And like I said, they kind of try to do that with 2018, but you know, once you have like a big studio behind the Blumhouse, it kind of takes off that whole independent, low budget kind of aspect, man. So, but it is what it is. Yo, Brandon loves horror. What's up, man? What's up? What's up, man? Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a great Halloween, Brandon. A great Halloween weekend. I literally went live on Halloween night. You know, out of the ordinary. I really didn't do much, but we still were able to, you know, kick back, man, at the house, man. Watch some, you know, horror films and stuff like that. And you know, this Halloween ranking, I was actually gonna try to do it on Halloween, but I mean, definitely had to do it, man, for today's Michael Myers Monday. But yeah, man, I mean, even though October's gone, we're definitely still gonna we're still gonna keep the wheels moving, man, because you know, we definitely try to keep the Halloween spirit alive on the channel for sure. Oh shit, dropping everything. But yeah, man, I mean, that was pretty much my ranking. Like I said, it's a re-ranking, a major updated ranking, man, because like I said, the last one I did was like years ago. And like I said, dude, each viewing, every time I watch any of these movies, it always changes. It definitely always changes. And when you compare to my last ranking, it's definitely way different. So I figured it was worth the re-ranking. Like I said, I might go back and re-rank some other franchises. But I definitely had to start it with the Halloween series, man, for sure. But yeah, man, that's what's up, man. Yeah, just chilling here, man. Like I said, the whole Michael Myers Monday thing, I did a little playlist. Like I said, I'm gonna try to make it more of a routine, because Monday is kind of a chill day for me. I don't, you know, my day off, so it's pretty cool, you know. And I know a lot of people, especially like on Instagram and stuff like that, people try to do, you know, the whole hashtag Michael Myers Monday, And it's always been cool, man. It's a great way to, you know, dedicate it to the goal, right? But but yeah, but like I said, man, even though the month has came about, uh, we're still gonna keep it going. Few more costume tests and little videos like that. But that was my re-ranking, dude. Let me know your guys' ranking. This was my ranking from worst to best. I'll go through them real quick again. The worst one, Resurrection. Halloween Ends. Got Halloween Kills. Number 11. Number 10. Rob Zombie's remake. Number 9. Halloween 2 remake. Number 8. H2O. 20 years later. Then we got 40 years later. Halloween 5. The Revenge of Michael Myers. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Halloween 4, 1981, Halloween 2, then the original. So yeah, that's my re-ranking, guys. Definitely let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of our, rankings, our lists might vary. But like I said, it's great. It's always great to see other people's ranking, for sure. It's always interesting to look at a man, to check out different people's take on the whole franchise, man. All we gotta do now is wait, see what happens. I know we got the whole video game coming out next year, which might be the best route to go for Halloween, rather than just dropping another shitty movie by like Halloween Ends. but at least the franchise they're keeping the legacy alive, and a video game is a good way to do that, because you can look at it at the aspect some video games have surpassed the movies. Like, games are literally more popular than movies now, so it's a cool way. It's a cool way. It's been proved to us they could do it. Friday the 13th was good, and I mean, I hope this is just the beginning of the evolution of horror games, because I guess we're gonna have like a storyline in the game, multiplayer, all that. So I really can't wait. I definitely can't wait to see what the Halloween game has in store for us. That's what's up, man. Yeah, Monday for me, I'm also just chilling, especially since I had a day off most Mondays, so definitely just chilling, man. For today's Monday. Next Monday, I'm not sure what I'll do next Monday. For Michael Myers Monday, but we'll definitely figure it out, man. We'll definitely figure it out. I think last week I did last week I did not do a Myers Monday. I was supposed to drop my costume test for Halloween 6 on last Myers Monday, but I kind of got behind. So I ended up dropping it on Thursday, the 30th. But yeah, my last one 2 weeks ago was the haired economy mask, which is right here. But for sure, man, next week, I might drop a few more videos. Might go live during the week too. But next Myers Monday, we'll definitely have another Myers video or live. For sure, Brandon. Yeah, you know what? I can't stand Resurrection. Like I said earlier, I just can't go through that movie. I could only watch the first 10 minutes with Jamie Lee Curtis. After that, dude, I really can't watch it. But Busta Rhymes really does not help it. Really does not help it. Almost definitely, Brandon. Yeah, 2 and 4 are always gonna be the best for me, and I think to most of us, man, because they captured, they at least they still gave a shit at that point. once they realized 4, was solid and was successful, they'd figure, hey, screw it, let's just for 5 we could just do anything from this point on. Uh, but at least, man, like I said, when it comes to 2 and 4, at least they still gave a shit, about Myers, because yeah, those films, like I said, have a some kind of charm to them for sure. And then when you get to 6, um, I still, appreciate that dark, atmospheric kind of vibe it has. So, oh yeah, man, it's cool. Yeah, it's definitely cool to have kind of some similar list, similar rankings. Like for example, when it comes to 6, that was like my number. What was it? My number 4 on the list. Uh, that's one, that would be more lower on the list to a lot of people, and I do get it. Like I said, Halloween 6 was the worst one for me at one point. Um, H2O is one that I expect people to have a little bit more higher on their list. So it definitely varies, dude. It definitely varies, but as far as overall, I think we could all agree on those early films, the early sequels for sure. Um, Yeah, exactly, Brandon. Yeah, and I think, like I said, Halloween 4. Even though we didn't have our Scream Queen, Jamie Lee Curtis, Rachel, the Rachel character, Jamie Lloyd character, of course, the legendary Donald Pleasant. They were able to still carry on the movie, man. And you're right. Once 5 came about, the characters got stupid, man. You had what's her name? It was a Tina. Was her name Tina? Rachel's friend. Didn't really care for her character. The characters in H2O didn't really care for neither. So yeah, 2 and 3. Even like for example, part 2. Even some of like the nurses. The guys who worked at the hospital. The guy nurses. They were still like the dude with the curly hair who was trying to get at Lori. At least they were still, they were still grounded. They weren't, over the top, annoying. They were still you could say relatable. They were still, it still felt like common sense, the storyline, the characters. So I think that's what really worked, man. That's what really worked, man. But like I said, once the franchise started to explain Myers, it just all went downhill, man. It definitely just went downhill, and I think that's still the issue till this day. Why the Halloween franchise never really evolved like that. I mean, it did when the Blumhouse ones came out. They were successful, right? You could say that was they kind of elevated a little bit, but it went straight downhill with kills and because, like I said, all that explaining they did in the previous ones, it gave people a certain image, a certain idea of the Halloween concept, of the Myers concept. So it's not really taken as serious, I feel now, especially when you get to ends and kills. Like, I don't know, it's just strange, man. The Halloween franchise has its twists and turns. It's complicated. Like, I forgot where I heard this from, man, but some people have mentioned Halloween is like your kind of like your choose your own adventure kind of franchise. Not like other ones. You got other films that, like Friday, each movie is like its own thing. It's not like a solid follow up. Nightmare on Elm Street has its twists and turns, but not as complicated as like Halloween. So it's unique. The series, it's unique in its own way. But it still has its twists and turns, man. And like I said, I just can't wait to see what they got in store for us. Because as long as the legacy, the franchise has been stained, especially with Halloween Ends. they could probably still manage to pull it off, man. Uh, who knows? Maybe. I just feel they just gotta forget about 78 movie. You can't touch that movie at all. It's untouchable. Um, and you know, after they do that, after they let go of that, man, I think they got all the potential in the world, because holding on to that 78 movie is their downfall. Is what's holding them back, if you ask me, dude. Because yeah, we were also kind of teased at like a TV series, but still trying to, you know, mess with this one. Still trying to keep this one, you know, hold on to this one. But they gotta let it go, man, because that's history, you know. So yeah, but after that, I think they could probably manage to work something out. Yeah, man. Yeah, annoying characters, all that, you know. And you could say like the Friday series kind of had those characters, you know, like some dumb characters. But I don't know. The Friday films is another thing, you know. They still I guess since they were always killed, we were always, you know, at least fascinated. Like we were never bothered, you know, to see them get killed on screen. But yeah, but once Halloween 5 came about, it just went downhill, man. Yeah, man, very true. Very true. I'd say the more or less. Yeah, man, most definitely with all the flaws it contains. Yeah, I think this is the franchise we all anyone gravitates to, especially when, because Halloween. You know, this is the franchise. Halloween. That's what it is, man. You know, like I said, other franchises had their charm to them. We hold on to them as well, but this is one of those, you could say, the franchise. You even with its flaws, it gets a pass. You know, for sure. But I mean, that's gonna be pretty much it, man. That was my re-ranking of the Halloween franchise. Decided to do it on live. I was gonna do a video, but I'm gonna just decided to just do it live. Uh, but that's gonna be pretty much it, dude. It's been 62 minutes. It's a good run, man, for today's live stream. Want to appreciate you guys tuning in. I think it was a cool little discussion. You know, kind of not really a deep dive, but just the whole Halloween franchise discussion overall, man. Because yeah, it's been a while since we've talked about it like as a whole, and you know, I thought it was good timing. I thought it was good timing for Michael Myers. Today's Michael Myers Monday. That was my ranking from worst to best. Definitely let me know what you guys think. If you guys feel free to leave your rankings in the comments down below. Definitely feel free to, man, because definitely would love to check that out. Even if you guys disagree with me, if you guys think I have a movie too up in the list or too down on the list, let me know, man. I definitely would like to see your guys's you know, take for sure. Because yeah, it's just interesting. You know, some people really dig movies that might be kind of low on the list, and I would like to see your guys' reasoning. So that's gonna be pretty much it, man. Shout out to all of you guys who tuned in. Brandon loves horror films. Uh, Jamie Lloyd, for sure. Oh yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, those early, yeah, those are unforgettable characters, man. That really, you know, still hold on to that presence, man, to that Halloween. They're fan favorites for sure. You know, can't forget characters like, you know, Dr. Loomis, Jamie Lloyd, Annie Brackett, Sheriff Brackett, Linda, Laurie, of course. Great iconic characters, man. Like those characters really like in that, like in other series, we got Nancy, iconic, right? But I think Halloween has the more memorable ones. I feel, Friday has, their characters were forgettable, but yeah, Halloween has it all, man. Halloween has it all, and I think that's what really gravitate towards too, man. So yeah, man, appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully, I go live this week, man. Hopefully Friday. Hopefully I'm not too busy Friday, man. I get home early. We'll do another live stream, man. Like I said, I had a lot more plans for the month, October month. But since I got a little behind, I was focused on some of the costume tests. I wasn't able to, finish like editing some of the videos I had planned. This was one of them. Even though I hadn't filmed it yet, I'm like, screw it, let's live stream it. But yeah, we're gonna keep it going, man. Shout out to all of you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week. Just in case I don't see you guys for like the next week or something, but we're definitely gonna try to go live, man. Another, one more time this week. So maybe a Freddy Krueger Friday. That's what I was thinking, because I could talk Freddy all day too. But yeah, I can't wait to hit you guys with some of this new content. So hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me know your guys' ranking in the comments down below. It's the Michael Myers signing out.